I scored a band 7.5 in IELTS writing. I was unhappy about it initially, thinking that I could have scored higher, a band 8, for example. But then I came to know that most people struggle to get even a band 6.5 in IELTS writing. There are some tips and tricks that I have discovered along the way, and I thought, why not share them with the viewers on my channel in case you're interested. So the first tip is keep the overview simple. In writing task 1, in the second paragraph, usually in the second paragraph, we have to write an overview. So I would suggest keeping the overview simple. No need to go into minute details and no need to include any numbers. Just include some main points. The second tip that I have is use the past tense to report past data. Let me show you an example. You can see that there are 2 pie charts. One is for data from 2017 and the other is for data from 2018. So if you are writing about data from 2017 or 2018, you are expected to use the past tense, the past simple tense. Okay, for example, we can say that as much as 75% of the budget was spent. So we're using was and not is. Okay, so 75% of the budget was spent on salaries. So I know it's a small detail, but many people actually forget it while writing. You should remember to use the past tense when you are talking about past data. But if you're talking about the present time, then you are welcome to use the present tense. Okay, so next we have cover both graphs equally. We can return to the previous example. If there are 2 pie charts or 2 line graphs, for example, you are expected to talk about them in equal measure. Okay, so one should not be forgotten or one should not be prioritized over the other. So my next tip is that use complex compound sentences. So don't always stick to simple sentences. Everyone can write simple sentences. You should spice up your composition, your writing, with a mix of complex and compound sentences. Next up, use a wide range of vocabulary. Yeah, so it's a good idea not to repeat a single word too many times. For example, if you are writing the word graph too many times, it might make your writing boring. So you can actually use some other alternatives to this word. For example, you can say graphic or illustration, image. And so this is just an example. Okay, and instead of using the word show all the time, which is a very basic word, everyone knows this word show. If you're using the word show, you are not really showing off your vocabulary, right? So you can use other words that are synonymous. For example, you can use illustrate, you can use demonstrate, and so on. Okay, so use a wide range of vocabulary. If possible, use some less common words, but that doesn't mean that you have to use uncommon words all the time. No, just use them sparingly and that will do just fine. The next tip is use fronting. What is fronting? Let me give you an example. The rise in sales figures is more dramatic. This is a normal sentence, and there is no fronting here. But if you want to use fronting, what you should do is you bring this part of the sentence to the front of the sentence. More dramatic is the rise in sales figures. More dramatic is the rise in sales figures. So it's not mandatory, but if you can use it sometimes, it will add flair to your writing. It will make your writing seem more interesting. The next tip is don't forget to compare. Right, so if there are two pie charts or two line graphs, or if there is one line graph and one pie chart, you are supposed to not only contrast the two charts, but you are also expected to compare them. Okay, so to compare two things means to show how they're similar. Yeah, we often forget to do that, so please keep that in mind. Now I'm going to share some more tips that are meant for writing task 2, but some of them may apply to writing task 1 as well. This one is make a plan first. Many people set to writing as soon as they read the prompt, but that should be avoided. Making a plan or an outline is essential to developing a good response. So what does it involve? Making a plan. It involves thinking about how you will frame the intro, what will go in the intro, and then your body paragraph 1, and then body paragraph 2, and then your conclusion. You should think about what you are going to write in the intro and what points you will mention in body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2. And then finally, you should also think about how your conclusion will restate what you already mentioned in the intro and how it will link back to the intro. So you should make an outline like this before you begin to write the essay. Use punctuation correctly. Even native speakers of English sometimes struggle with punctuation marks. So if you can use punctuation correctly in your writing, you will be likely to get a higher band score in your writing. Okay, so punctuation marks include commas and hyphens and dashes, and there are two kinds of dashes. One is N dash and the other is M dash. The M dash is the bigger one, the N dash is the smaller one. Highlight keywords in the prompt. So let's say this is a prompt. Nowadays, a growing number of people with health problems are trying alternative medicines and treatments instead of visiting their usual doctor. Do you think this is a positive or negative development? Just to make sure that you don't digress, you don't talk about irrelevant stuff, you can actually highlight some of the keywords. For example, you can highlight the phrase health problems, alternative medicines and treatments instead of do you think this is a positive or negative development? So what is the benefit to highlighting keywords? The benefit is that these highlights will keep you focused. So highlighting keywords is helpful. Next, link ideas or sentences. One of the 4 marking criteria in IELTS writing is coherence and cohesion, right? Coherence and cohesion. This is tied to how you link your ideas or sentences in your writing. One way of ensuring your writing sounds coherent is by using cohesive devices. You can, for example, say, let's say you said something in the first sentence, and then in the second sentence, you begin as a result. So as a result, something happens. So immediately what this is doing, this phrase as a result is doing is, it is linking your second sentence to the first sentence. And as a result, your writing sounds more cogent. Your writing sounds stronger. Right, next we have TR, CC, LR, and GR. TR stands for task response, CC for coherence and cohesion, LR for lexical resource, and GR for grammatical range and accuracy. On the day of the test in the hall, you will be given a piece of paper. Even if you are taking the computer-based IELTS test, you will be provided with a piece of paper. So what you should do is you should write these 4 abbreviations on the piece of paper: TR, CC, LR, and GR. And these 4 abbreviations will make sure that you remember the 4 marking criteria that examiners will look at when assessing your writing. And trust me, this will help you to stay on topic and to score higher in your writing. The next tip is to include and appreciate counter arguments. Okay, let's say you are doing an opinion essay where you are talking about your own opinion, but even so, you should include counter arguments. You should make some room for other arguments, and you should appreciate them. But the focus, you can choose to focus on your own opinion. So just keep that in mind. It's a good idea to include and appreciate counter arguments in your essay. Use somewhat long sentences. IELTS examiners are fond of longer sentences, small sentences with just 4 or 5 or 6 words. They will not cut it. They will not get you a good score. So it's a good idea to use somewhat long sentences. Use a variety of conjunctions like although, though, even so, because, since. So use those conjunctions to help you write longer sentences. You can also use semicolons or just colons. These can also be used to prolong your sentences. However, if you are making too many mistakes while trying to write long sentences, that will do you no good. It will be more of a hindrance than a help. Finally, revise and hunt out spelling mistakes. You should set aside at least 3 to 4 minutes at the end of your exam to revise and hunt out spelling mistakes. Each and everyone makes spelling mistakes while writing. While you are doing the writing test, on test day, you will not receive any help whatsoever. You won't have access to a smartphone. You won't have access to a dictionary. So you will naturally be making some spelling mistakes. So it's a good idea to spend some time, 3 to 4 minutes, even 5 minutes, to revise your work and hunt out the spelling mistakes. The more you can reduce the number of spelling mistakes, the better your chances of getting a good score. All right, if you found this video helpful, please like or subscribe.